Welcome back to our little talk show, I suppose it is. One man talk show for 2023. It's good to be back in the saddle, getting back slowly into the grind and trying to pass my way through some legal documents, get the team firing on all cylinders and, have a great year. Had a really cool break, went over to Melbourne with a friend of mine who's actually a spiritual advisor in his day job. Great guy, good friend, and we had some fun, played some poker in the casino, and got a lot of Test cricket in. Watched our new team. We're now supporting the Australian cricket team, which is a controversial move amongst the circles we move in, but nonetheless a decision we felt we had to make. And get behind Marnie and Steve and Smudger Smith and the boys. Big Paddy Carmen steaming in from the members' end. Had a great time over there, and then did a really cool wellness retreat called the Aroha Wellness Retreat down in Glenorchy. Just awesome plant-based diet, no caffeine, obviously no booze or drugs or cigarettes, and quite a difficult proposition. Those of you that know, I've been clean and sober for a long time now, but not drinking is not the only challenge in life. We all love to dull the pain of our mediocre existence with whatever we can, whether that's Netflix or coffee or bad food or Coca-Cola or whatever. And doing that whole cleanse was quite challenging. After 48 hours, I kind of wanted to come back to Auckland, but I got used to it and had a blast. Did some great walks, met some amazing people, and I'm ready to rock and roll. We've had some really cool meetings with the team in the last few days about individual progress within our organization. We've got a new solicitor coming on board in April, and we're really pumped up. There's a lot of doom and gloom out there, but we're busy as we've been heaving for ages now. In terms of the breakdown, for anyone that's interested, there's quite a bit of transactional work still, very little conveyancing, but quite a lot of transactional work, particularly at the higher end. Well-heeled clients still obviously have funds and looking at opportunities. So Liam's doing quite a lot of bit of that work. Michael Moen from Devon Lane is doing a lot of conjunctional work with us on disputes, having some pretty good success, amazing success really in that area. The sort of pre-litigation, before it gets too acrimonious type of work that's traditionally done by litigators, where we're turning our hand to that. I've managed to parlay some of the stuff I've learned in my master's over in Melbourne. Got a few more papers away last year and learned a lot more around the sort of soft skills that are needed to solve disputes. So we're doing a lot of shareholder disputes. We're doing some property disputes, a bit of matrimonial as well. And that's been a cool learning curve for me and the team in terms of turning our hand to those skills. It's sort of more Johnny on the spot, on your feet. But we're seeing a prevalence of, which is obviously a worrying sign, a prevalence of disputes out there. And the mix for us is sort of more 30, 35, 60 or, sorry, my maths isn't very good, 65 or 70 in terms of adversarial work versus transactional work, whereas we're used to would have been like 95-5. So that is perhaps a harbinger of things to come, but time will tell. Anyway, I wanted to make today a really short one and just sort of welcome everyone back into the fold and wish you all luck. Look forward to, I think one of the coolest things for me of, getting really motivated in the last, pretty much since COVID, and going way harder and making my work, my main interest that I have is no longer, coming back every year used to be such a grind when you were sort of half into it and you had to do it just to, make money to have a lifestyle. But I've sort of turned all that around and how I'm looking at everything. And now I love coming to work. I love the team. I love my clients and love as Mark Cuban says, a really cool audio book. I think, what's it called? There's something of doing business, but if you just Google Mark Cuban audio book, he talks about how business is the greatest game of all, trying to put all the pieces together. It's got such a mixture of intellectual stimulus, but also the practical street smart skills you need to solve problems. and it's it's played 24/7 the world over, and maybe that's a little bit contrived or a little bit of a sort of gimmick to get you motivated and make it not so much of a stretch or a pain to actually have to apply yourself and focus and settle down into it. But it's worked for me, so I recommend reading that book. He's quite a neat guy, in my opinion. Although the Dallas Mavericks do suck, even though they have Luka Doncic. Right, team. I don't have any outro music because we're having burger for lunch, and Loela's got my phone because the courier driver could be turning up at any moment. So for that reason, you've been deprived of my shithouse collection, but that's okay. I'm sure you'll cope. Cheers to a great 2023, and I look forward to the inundation of fan mail that we'll get after every podcast. Cheers.